A tail gunner or rear gunner is a crewman on a military aircraft who functions as a gunner defending against enemy fighter attacks from the rear, or tail, of the plane. The tail gunner operates a flexible machine gun emplacement on either the top or tail end of the aircraft with a generally unobstructed view toward the rear of the aircraft. While the term tail gunner is usually associated with a crewman inside a gun turret, tail gun armaments may also be operated by remote control from another part of the aircraft. General description: the tail gun armament and arrangement varied between countries. During World War II, most United States Army Air Forces heavy bomber designs such as the B-17 Flying Fortress and B-29 Super Fortress used a fixed gunner position with the guns themselves in a separate turret covering an approximately 90-degree rear arc. Typical armament was two 0.50-inch M2 Browning machine guns. In contrast, Royal Air Force heavy bombers such as the Avro Lancaster and Handley Page Halifax used a powered turret capable of 180-degree rotation containing the tail gunner and four 0.303-inch Browning machine guns. A similar arrangement was used in the American B-24 Liberator heavy bomber. British turrets were manufactured by two companies, Nash and Thompson and Bolton and Paul Limited, and the same turret model could be fitted to a number of different aircraft. In German aircraft such as the Dornier Do-17, Heinkel He-111 and Junkers Ju-88, the gun position covering the tail was often in the dorsal position at the rear of the crew compartment or partway along the back of the fuselage. This gave reasonable coverage above the line of the fuselage but might be supplemented by a ventral position, or flexible ball mount machine gun mount at the rear of the under-nose ventral Bodeneffekt gondola present on many German bomber designs of World War II, that covered the rear arc from underneath the fuselage. In smaller ground attack aircraft and dive bombers such as the Junkers Ju-87, SBD Dauntless and later versions of the Ilyushin Il-2, the tail gunner was seated right behind the pilot and operated a machine gun on a flexible mount either enclosed within the canopy or in an open position. In these types of aircraft, the tail gunner also usually served as the radio operator. The tail gunner fulfilled a second role as a lookout for attacking enemy fighters, particularly in British bombers operating at night. As these aircraft operated individually instead of being part of a bombing formation, the bomber's first reaction to an attacking night fighter was to engage in radical evasive maneuvers such as a corkscrew roll. Firing guns in defense was of secondary importance. The British slang term for tail gunners was tail-end Charlies, while in the Luftwaffe they were called Heckschwein. In the autumn of 1944, the British began deploying Lancasters fitted with the automatic gun-laying turret. This was fitted with a 9.1 cm radar. The image from the radar's cathode ray tube was projected onto the turret's gun sight, allowing the gunner to fire on targets in complete darkness, with corrections for lead and bullet drop being automatically computed. Last combat usage. The tail gunner was most commonly used during World War II and last used in combat during the Vietnam War, but the position has become largely obsolete due to advancements in long-range air combat weapons such as air-to-air missiles as well as modern detection and countermeasures against such armaments. On December 18, 1972, during Operation Linebacker II, USAF B-52 Stratofortresses of the Strategic Air Command conducted a maximum-effort bombing campaign against North Vietnam. As the bombers approached the target, SAMs commenced to explode around the Stratofortresses. One bomber, call sign Brown 3, completed its bomb run, and while turning outbound was warned that Vietnam People's Air Force MiGs were now airborne. Brown 3's tail gunner, SSGT Samuel O. Turner, locked onto a fast-approaching MiG-21 interceptor and shot it down with a burst of his 4.50 caliber machine guns. Turner became the first bomber tail gunner to shoot down an enemy aircraft since the Korean War. His B-52 Stratofortress, tail number 55-0676, is currently preserved and on display at Fairchild AFB, Spokane, Washington. On December 24, 1972, during the same bombing campaign, the B-52 Stratofortress Diamond Lil, tail number 55-083, was attacking the railroad yards at the NOUN when the aircraft's tail gunner, Airman Albert E. Moore, detected a MiG-21 at a range of 8 miles, that was climbing to intercept. Moore locked onto the MiG at 4,000 yards and advised his pilot to take evasive maneuvers and the aircraft's electronic warfare officer to drop chaff and flares. He opened fire at a range of 2,000 yards, shooting around 800 rounds in 3 bursts. Another B-52 tail gunner, Technical Sergeant Clarence W. Shute, witnessed the MiG-21 falling away on fire. By 6 days, Moore became the last bomber tail gunner to shoot down an enemy aircraft with machine guns during wartime. Diamond Lil was preserved and is now on display at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado. Partial list of aircraft with tail gun positions. This is a list of aircraft to show the different approaches to tail gun positions. Germany Focke-Wulf FW-189 a Euro reconnaissance, Junkers Ju 290 a Euro long-range patrol transport, Junkers Ju 87 a Euro dive bomber, Heinkel He-177 a Euro heavy bomber. United Kingdom Handley Page V/1500 a Euro heavy bomber. 2 Lewis guns mounted on a scarf ring and the extreme tail, Armstrong Whitworth Whitley a Euro medium bomber. Initially equipped with a manually operated tail turret featuring a single Lewis gun, it successively received 2 and then 4-gun Nash and Thompson turrets. Short Sunderland a Euro maritime patrol and anti-submarine flying boat. 4-gun Nash and Thompson tail turret, Handley Page Halifax a Euro heavy bomber. 4-gun Bolton Paul tail turret, Avro Lancaster a Euro heavy bomber. 4-gun Nash and Thompson tail turrets. Some late war aircraft received Village in automatic radar aiming and others were fitted with the Rose turret. Vickers Windsor a Euro prototype heavy bomber. Tailgun aiming position controlling barbette mounted Hispano 20mm cannon in the rear of the engine nacelles. Vickers Wellington medium bomber fitted with 2 Browning M1919s in the tail turret. USA TBD Devastator a Euro carrier-borne torpedo bomber. Rear of cockpit flexible gun mount, TBF Avenger a Euro carrier-borne torpedo bomber. Featured both a dorsal turret and a ventral tail gunner, B-17 Flying Fortress a Euro heavy bomber. Fixed tail gun position from the B-17E version onwards, B-24 Liberator a Euro heavy bomber. Rotating tail gun turret, B-25 Mitchell a Euro medium bomber, B-26 Marauder a Euro medium bomber, B-29 Superfortress a Euro heavy bomber, B-36 Peacemaker a Euro Strategic Air Command heavy bomber, B-52 Stratofortress a Euro Strategic Air Command Vietnam War heavy bomber. No other gun positions, B-58 Hustler a Euro Strategic Air Command supersonic bomber. Fixed 20mm tail gun. No other gun positions. USS Russia Antonov An-12, Ilyushin Il-28, Ilyushin Il-2, Ilyushin Il-4, Ilyushin Il-10, Ilyushin Il-40, Ilyushin Il-102, Ilyushin Il-76, Myasishkov M4, Pitlyakov Pay-2, Pitlyakov Pay-8, Tupolev SB, Tupolev TB-3, Tupolev To-2, Tupolev To-4, Tupolev To-14, Tupolev To-16, Tupolev To-22/To-22M, Tupolev To-95/To-142. See also, Ball turret, Joseph McCarthy, Wallace McIntosh. References. McCarthy, Donald J. Jr. MiG Killers. A Chronology of U.S. Air Victories in Vietnam 1965 a Euro 1973. 2009. ISBN 978-1-58007-136-9. External links, BBC People's War a Euro bomber air crew story.